Got a loaded show coming up on today's Lakers report, including the latest on LeBron James extension talks with LA. Is he going to sign the 2-year extension? Is he not? More information to consider coming up in just a few moments. Also, reports of a potential 3-team trade between the Lakers, Jazz, and the Knicks. Fireworks in that trade. We'll explore that as well. And Kyrie Irving, is he still eyeing Los Angeles, even if it means waiting until next offseason? All of that and more coming up on today's show, including some shout-outs from yesterday's video challenge. How many of you guys got the answer correct for how many times I said the word shooters? We'll tell you coming up in just a moment. Today's Lakers report is sponsored by Mint Mobile. Plans starting at just $15 a month. Save some money today by switching your wireless cell phone provider to Mint Mobile. Hey, actor Ryan Reynolds owns it. LA, Hollywood, Mint Mobile. It all works together. MintMobile.com/chatsports. Get started with them today. Let's get an update on LeBron James contract extension conversation here. Dave McMenamin, who covers the Lakers for ESPN, tweeted this out. LeBron and his representative, Rich Paul of Klutch Sports, met with Lakers VP of Basketball Ops and GM Rob Pelinka on Thursday regarding James' eligible contract extension. Paul told ESPN the discussion was productive and both sides will continue a dialogue. More from McMenamin on ESPN's NBA Today. All signs point toward both sides looking to extend their partnership together. It's already led to one championship in 2020. It also led to 2 playoff appearances where they didn't make it. But overall, I think both sides recognize they can help one another to get to their mutual goal, which is to compete at a high level, stay relevant as both one of the best players in the NBA and one of the most marquee franchises in the NBA. Now, for those who didn't know, LeBron actually has until June 30th of next year to agree to a 2-year max extension. If you can't tell what that date is, that's actually right when free agency is going to begin next year, June 30th, July 1st. So the Lakers have the first crack at it, even if he doesn't sign between now and the season or during the season. So it's very possible LeBron sits back and says, let's wait for the season to start. Let's see how things going. If we're playing well, I'll sign an extension. If not, I'll wait till the season is over and reassess and either sign an extension before free agency or maybe even wait until you get into free agency. Obviously, he could sign a brand new deal with Los Angeles for longer than 2 years if he wants to, if he becomes a free agent. So a lot of options on the table for King James, but it's nice to see that productive conversations are taking place between the two parties. And like I continue to say, you want to keep LeBron in LA. Believe me on that. How many seasons of elite ball does LeBron have left? He's obviously getting older. He's not going to play like this 10 years from now. He's going to be 38 this year. Let us know. Pin comment on today's video. How many seasons of elite basketball does LeBron James have left? Let us know by replying to the pinned comment. First of all, LeBron is simply worth the 2-year max. We've explained why on prior videos, but maybe this is your first time on the Lakers report. You want to know why? Because there's a decent argument that he just had maybe a top 3 year of his career. I mean, don't believe me. Look at the numbers. Points per game last year compared to his career average. 3 points higher. Rebounds per game, higher. Assists were down. We've talked about that. I think that's more of A, he was hunting for a shot a little bit more, and B, teammates just didn't knock down shots consistently enough this year. Field goal percentage, higher. 3-point percentage, higher. Sure, maybe the defense isn't quite what it used to be. He just had one of the best years of his career. If he played a full 72-game slate this year, he would have probably been a top 3 MVP guy. It was 82 this year. They got back on the full schedule after the 2 COVID years. Point remains, this is one of the best years of his career. He's top 5 minimum still. That is why you pay him. That is why you keep him. I've seen some people in the comments saying, he's 38. Why would you give him this much money? Because when you have a dude that averages 36 and 8 and shoots over 50% from the field, you're not really worried that he's 38 now. You pay that guy, and hey, if on the back end of the extension he's not what he used to be, so be it. You don't let a guy like LeBron James walk. At worst, he is a top 5 player in the National Basketball Association. A top cell phone wireless provider is Mint Mobile, primarily because their prices are fantastic. You can get plans starting at just $15 per month, but a lot of you guys are probably thinking, Harrison, it's got to be a ripoff, right? The service has to suck, right? No, they're on the nation's highest 5G LTE network. And what's cool about Mint Mobile is, depending on where you are in the country, it'll switch seamlessly between 5G and 4G LTE, because some pockets of the country actually operate better on 4G, some are on 5G. Whatever's strongest, their wireless provider is going to be able to recognize that and get you on the fastest data possible. Get started today, mintmobile.com/chatsports. $15 per month. It's a great deal. Go check it out. Link in the comments and in the description of this video. All right. Blockbuster trade. Could it happen? HoopsHype's Michael Scotto reported recent talks between the Lakers, Utah, and New York, that being the Knicks. Interesting. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell has been connected to a lot of stuff. Kyrie Irving, which wouldn't be involved in this, he's obviously been linked to a lot of stuff as well. Knicks have been hunting for more talent. So here's what Scotto had to say. The Lakers had conversations about joining the Jazz and Knicks a few weeks ago in a potential three-team trade, league sources told HoopsHype. The reported three-team trade, or proposed one, included Russell Westbrook going to Utah and getting bought out. Utah would send Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, which is a player they've been looking for. Combination of two players, including Pat Beverly, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, or Malik Beasley to the Lakers, and the Jazz would receive significant draft pick compensation from the Knicks and Lakers. Number one, Russ leaving equals a Lakers win. I hate to beat a dead horse, and I'm sure a few of you guys disagree with me, but it's not going to make me change my opinion. Russ being here on $47 million this upcoming season equals you can't win a championship. It's as simple as that. So if you can get him out, that's a win. But I actually like the possibility of getting, say, a combination of Pat Beverly and Bojan Bogdanovic or Jordan Clarkson. These are guys that can help you win right now and give you some more depth and credibility on both ends of the floor. Jordan Clarkson is a guy that has been really good, especially recently with the Jazz, obviously with Los Angeles is where he spent earlier part of his career. 14 points there, three-point percentage at just over 33%, which isn't great. 138 starts to just 4 starts elsewhere. That's really how his career has taken off as a sixth man, 16.5 points coming off the bench. Three-point shots never been great, but he can really be kind of a microwave and give you 20-25 on any given night. Bojan Bogdanovic, Malik Beasley, a couple of guys that can really light it up from three-point range, especially Bogdanovic. I've always been a fan of his. He can catch and shoot, but an underrated part of his game is putting the ball on the deck. He can really do that as well. And you need shooters. Remember that fun word from yesterday? You need more of it if you are Los Angeles. So, yeah, I'm all in on this. Dumping Russ, getting a couple of shooters. Yeah, you're probably going to have to trade a first-round pick to do it, but I would absolutely be on board if I was L.A. Is time winding down on trading Russell Westbrook? The Athletic's Jovan Buha senses that training camp could be kind of a soft deadline, if you will. Like training camp gets here, becomes hard to trade Russ, at least at the start of the season, if you will. Sure, it could be revisited at the trade deadline possibly. I would probably agree with that because once teams start getting into camp, they're not focusing on trying to make a blockbuster trade as much. They're focusing on what they have. So, yeah, I mean, you probably got 6 weeks or so here to really try to make some moves if you are LA to get rid of Russ, to pursue Kyrie, etc. We'll get to the latest on Kyrie in a sec. But keep that in mind as the days kind of get X'd off on the calendar. I don't know if anyone still has the calendar on their wall and put red X's through each date as it goes by. I don't. But that's kind of the visual you can imagine. Like, August 6th, August 7th, August 8th, as we kind of go like, running out of time before training camp gets here. All right, would you do it? Russ plus picks for Clarkson, Bojan, and Beasley. I mean, that's a pretty good deal to me. Type A for accept, type D for decline. If you're typing D, I know there's still some Russ truthers out there, but I am just not one of them. More from HoopsHype here. The Lakers also have had interest in trading for Knicks forward Cam Reddish. This is kind of circulated on and off throughout the offseason. Scotto says he could also be part of a trade. Last season, the Lakers nearly acquired Reddish as part of a blockbuster 3-team trade talks as the Lakers, Knicks, and Raptors were exploring that at the time. Now, Reddish, I've always been fascinated by his potential coming out of Duke. He's just never really put it all together. The best basketball of his career was during the playoffs with the Hawks when they made that run to the conference finals a couple years ago. But then they didn't value him. He gets moved to the Knicks, and he did not perform well there at all. So I don't know what he offers at this point. He's young and athletic. You can use more of that. In theory, he can be a shooter, but you just saw his splits. Shrug emoji. You could do worse than adding a guy like Cam Reddish, but I don't think that's moving the needle that much in terms of pursuing a championship. All right, if you bleed purple and gold, we are the channel for you here at the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. So subscribe today because we're going to continue to bring you videos on just about a daily basis. YouTube.com/LakersTV. Whether it's me, whether it's Chase Sr., someone else in the Chat Sports studios, we will continue to keep you guys informed and entertained. So help us out. Hit that sub button. It is free. All right, word of the day reveal. If you caught yesterday's video, I asked you guys to track and then comment. How many times did I say the word shooters? Yes, plural. Drum roll, please. The answer, 11. We had a lot of 12 answers. I also dropped the word shooting a couple times, but there was a trick. You know why a lot of you guys said 12? I said shooter with no S one time. Gotcha. I don't know what to say. But flip, Jeremiah Smith and James Friday, you got it correct. We'll probably play this game in the future. I think that was a good time, so stay tuned. We'll keep it fun. We'll keep it loose, especially as the offseason progresses and we kind of wait for the start of next season. So shout out to Flip, Jeremiah, and James, and we'll play a game soon and keep it light with you guys. All right, latest on Kyrie. Trade talks have certainly slowed down. It sounds like Kyrie could start the season with Brooklyn, but that does not mean he could not end up in L.A. in the future. More from Jovan Buha here from The Athletic. There are a few givens in the NBA, so I would hesitate to label it as such, but all indications are that the Lakers are Irving's top destination if he leaves Brooklyn, whether it's via trade between now and the February trade deadline or in free agency next summer when Westbrook's salary will be off the Lakers' books. Ian Begley of SNY also added that Kyrie was comfortable starting the season in Brooklyn, which makes sense because he did opt into that contract. Now, maybe he didn't know Kevin Durant was going to request a trade afterward, but KD hasn't been moved either, so I'm kind of in the camp of they might stay in Brooklyn at this point. KD might say, you know what, if Kyrie wants to play here another year, let's run it back one more time, see how this year goes, and I can request a trade next offseason if it's more of the same. So we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, Kevin Durant trade buzz is affecting maneuvers in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie, it all kind of works together. It's a domino effect. One of these guys gets dealt, might see another one get dealt very, very quickly. So we will continue to have you guys informed. All right, Kyrie will start this season with the Lakers or the Nets. Type L for the Lakers, type N for the Nets. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll see you soon here on the Lakers Report.